Hello, I'm Kurt Roskoff, and you are watching Who Cares with Cares Foundation. And this is headed up by Todd Lingel, founder of Who Cares Foundation. Story told is that when he was 3 years old, he lost his mother and sister to a collision caused by a drunk driver. This is the legacy project that Todd carries forward. And again, I'm Kurt Roskoff. I'm from the World of Ability Podcast Network, and we are pleased, proud, and privileged to have this show airing every week at 9 a.m. Arizona and Pacific time every Wednesday. So thanks for joining us. We're going to bring in Todd. Todd, how are you doing today?
Hey, Kurt, I am spectacular today. Today's a great day. It's nice and sunny for all of you, then the snow and the rain. We're having a good time. But I appreciate that, Kurt. So that's right. My name is Todd Lingel. I founded CARES Foundation. When I was 3, like Kurt was saying, my mom and my sister were killed by a drunk driver. And here at CARES Foundation, we go around to speak to schools all over the country or anywhere that'll allow me to come in. I tell people that, hey, if I have a sleeping bag and a floor, I'm good to go. So bring me there. And we also have a camp called Camp Cares that we put on annually, and for kids who've been affected by drugs and alcohol, and veterans, kids have been affected by suicide. So that's a great thing we're doing, and we're developing programs as we come along, and so we can help more kids and save more lives. But today, I have an awesome guest. She is a wonderful friend of mine. She does lots of different things. She has a story as well. Her name is Misty Morrison. A lot of people call her Mama Misty. So, no further ado, Mama Misty, first tell me a little bit about what you do as far as products that you have to help people.
Hey, Todd. It's great to be on here. And yeah, we've been friends for a while. I can't imagine not having you in my life. And part of
Thank
the reason CARES Foundation is so important to me and why I went into what I do, which is natural health, is because I saw a lot of addiction in my family and I didn't want to use pain medicines. I have a lot of chronic illness. And so I just started learning natural ways to do it and creating my products.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So tell me about it's DoTerra, right? Is part of what you do.
Absolutely. doTERRA is a company that believes in natural health. They have supplements, they have essential oils. I am an essential oil specialist. I train to do that, and I make my own medicine.
Okay. Awesome. That's awesome. And I will tell the guests I do use stuff that Mama Misty makes, and they are great. So if you have a chance, please go out and see her. What was your website? Mamamisty.com, right?
Yes, it's MOMMAMISTY.com.
All right. Mamamisty.com. Go out and look her up and get some products from her. So, Mama Misty, I know we've known each other, like I said, a couple years. So, tell me about your childhood and just growing up. Some of your, I want to hear your story of growing up and what you had to deal with, and maybe what you continue to deal with.
Okay. I was born in Tennessee. I live in Kentucky, and both of these areas, I was really poor growing up, and my family, drugs and alcohol was just normalized. I mean, to the point to where we didn't even realize it was bad until we got old enough to realize it was bad.
Oh
And
wow.
so there was a lot of addiction, and I mean that carries through even now. I'm 60 years old, and I mean I still have family members that I just my heart hurts for them because they are still. It just went through the generations. Um, I feel like what you do is so important because had I known as a child some of the things I know now, maybe I could have gotten help and gotten out of the situation. Family barbecues. There was never a family get together or barbecue that there wasn't alcohol involved. I don't even know how I'm alive today. I cannot even count on my fingers and toes how many times I was in the car with someone drinking actively while I was in the car as a child. So it's just all of it hit home when I met you. Every bit of it just was like, wow, I don't even think I realized how much it was just normal for my family to be doing those things.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to go through that, and I'm glad that God had his hands around you, and you're here today. So I can get to know you. Um, so is there any one specific event in your life that kind of you comes to mind that you would be willing to share with us?
Um, One thing that I realize is that I'm one of the few. I don't know if it's because I don't have an addictive nature or because I saw so much and knew that it, was not a good thing.
Yeah.
But I've never smoked. I don't drink. I never had drug issues. Matter of fact, I went completely the opposite way. If I could think of one event in my life that really, I still think about it today. One of my stepfathers, I actually had 8 stepfathers. That'll tell you all you need to know about that. And
Yeah.
one of them, his brother, his little daughter, who was 4 at the time, actually got murdered because of him selling drugs. Like,
Wow.
he hid his wife and his daughter in the closet, and they found them and literally stabbed her, a 4-year-old. It's so hard still to talk about, in the top of the head, and killed both of them. And I will never forget that. Just finding out about it, and
Yeah.
hearing it and knowing what the child went through, all just because she was in a family that was dealing drugs. And,
Yeah.
the fact that my stepdad, he claimed he had a pharmacy license. There was bottles of pills in our basement that he sold out of the house. So,
Oh,
yeah. And like I said, I didn't realize it was not normal.
right.
I mean, until I got old enough to know. And I feel like kids just didn't have the education, especially in the, 60s and 70s. I mean, there just wasn't a lot out there to help support them.
Right. Yeah, no, I am so sorry for that. And that the sad thing is there's lots of kids that are probably going through that same type of a thing now today. That just like you said, it's normal to them. That's what life is about. And hey, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And that's a sad thing. Um, and I thank you for sharing some things. And one thing that hits me is I go around and I speak to group homes, like and some of these stories of these kids that their parents didn't want them, or their parents are in prison, or they're different situations. That there's got to be a way that we can help these kids better than what we are today's world. Um, what else would you like to share, Mama Misty?
Well, just the rate of abuse on not just children but spouses and others. I mean, that's a true thing too. If you go to group homes, I'm sure that's some of the stories that you hear, because the children are a second thought. They're in the way. They're keeping them from having their fun, and lots of times that's just not good for the child. Um, my thoughts are is that I don't know why anyone who cares, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Like $25 a month is nothing to be able to support a foundation and maybe help a child go to camp. I mean, at the end of the year, it ends up to be $300, and a child could attend camp and just really get some fun out of the whole situation and maybe be freed from that life.
Yeah. And I appreciate you that little plug. What Mama Misty was talking about is I have a campaign that's called 200 plus one. We're trying to get 200 people to donate $25 a month on a monthly basis, and to get one of their friends to do that as well. And that would help us raise a number of funds so we could help kids go to camps and help out others as well. Um, Mama Misty, I honestly, I don't know what I've done without you in my life for all my life, but I am glad that you've definitely come into my life. And a couple things we've talked about in the past episodes. One is communication, and tell me, tell me what your thoughts are on communication between parents, between anybody and everybody in today's day and age of the phones. And I apologize. I don't know what the glitch is with when I'm talking, but um, so Tell me what your thoughts are on communication.
I do know that there are more resources now, but without the children having the education to know how to find them, I think there's still a huge problem. Yeah, everybody, just about every kid has a phone, and
Yeah.
there's so much information there, but they just don't know to reach out. They don't know where to go to reach out or who to tell. Who can they trust? I think trust is a huge issue with the communication part. I mean, if you tell a teacher nowadays, who knows that it's not going to go right back to the parent and things ain't going to be worse. I mean, I'm not sure what that's like anymore. I know that there's been children I've tried to save and it didn't happen. I think there's still a lot of laws that need to be passed, and there's still a lot of government stuff that stands in the way of children getting the help they need because they're just overwhelmed. The system is overwhelmed with this problem.
Yeah, I agree. And I talk a little bit about just cell phone use in general. Uh, Kids are so prone to just looking at their phones. It's like, we're here, we don't know what's going around us.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to add this in here. I saw I was online, I think probably where I saw it, was, or was it the news? But this boy was riding a school bus, and he noticed that the driver was having a health issue and basically was passed out, and got up there, hit the brakes and stopped the bus and saved everybody. None of the kids knew what was going on. And they interviewed these kids, and they're like, well, I was looking at my phone. I wasn't paying attention to anything. This kid was the only one paying attention because his parents wouldn't let him have a cell phone yet.
Well, it's
And
a pacifier.
yeah, yeah. And it's like, I've talked with, when Kurt and I were talking about this on a previous podcast, it's like, put your phones down, engage with your kids when they're home. Take a couple nights and say, hey, there's no electronics this evening. We're going to play board games. We're going to talk. And, because I think that's where a lot of issues stem from. Give me your opinion after I make this comment. I think a lot of issues stem from the lack of communication from the parents to the kids, and then they just don't know how to communicate eventually. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. I am very proud of my children. I mean, of course, all of my grandchildren, I've got like 9 grandchildren, and they all have devices of some sort, even the 4-year-old. But yes, communication is so important to let them know it's okay to tell me if these things are happening to you. Or, I mean, it goes back to lots of other situations as well. Um, Bullying. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got to open that communication line to let children know that it's okay. You've got a safe space to talk and make that a priority. I mean, even if there's nothing going on, you need to take time every week, I think, and say, hey, what's going on in your life? Put everything away. Sit there, talk to them, have an honest conversation because they're not going to know how to have a conversation if you don't teach them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've made a comment also about a team that I used to coach, and we got on the first away bus, and they're all on their cell phones, and it's quiet. I mean, I've never heard a bus quiet before. It's always been like really loud. You always tell them, "Hey, quiet down" or something. And my team was back there texting each other, sitting next to each other. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm afraid when you get married, are you gonna communicate with your spouse? You know. Um,
probably so.
yeah. But let's get back to your childhood. If you had a child sitting in front of you right now, what was some advice you'd be giving the kids? And let's go with the kids first. What advice do you give the kids?
To reach out and find that person, there's got to be one person in your life that you feel comfortable talking to. I mean, just to let them know it's okay. You have permission to save yourself.
Yeah, great advice. Now, if you were going to talk to the parent of that child, what would you tell the parent?
I think I would talk to them about the fact that they must be hurt themselves somehow. Either they had their own past trauma or something happened in their life apparently, and just reassure them that it can still be fixed. They still have time to fix. Some parents, I think, get to the point to where they're like, well, so much has happened, I can never fix it, so why try? It's never too late. It's never too late to try to fix a bad situation.
That's key right there. I think never too late. It doesn't matter how old you are, what situation you're in. There's always a place to be able to get help,
Yes.
and that's I think you bring that up. I think that's one of the biggest keys too is people not to be afraid. There's so much, and I think we're so what is it? What is the word I'm trying to think of? Uh, I guess if you say afraid, we're just afraid of being afraid, to
Yeah.
reach out or afraid to have our neighbor know what we're going through, that type of a thing. I mean, I experienced that when I was going through all the stuff that I was going through before my counseling. I was afraid to let people know that I was quote unquote weak. I was not weak, but I was going to counseling through that whole situation, which my story. And and that's that persona that we need to get rid of. And even like I said, I go out and talk to these kids at group homes. They have the persona that, oh, they're in a group home, so they're a bad kid.
Yeah.
They're already looked down upon, and that's us as adults doing that to them. And
Yeah.
it shouldn't be that way. And I tell these kids, when I've gone into group homes that, we all have a choice in life to turn right and do something good, turn left, do something bad. And I've mentioned this before on here, but I tell these kids in group homes, you have an advantage because you know what life's about already. So your choice is now. And kids that are going to school still with their parents, still being spoon fed by their parents, they have no clue what life's about yet.
Exactly.
And so that's really what I want to really put forth. And sorry, messing with the volume a little bit. So yeah, so your story of the drug abuse and all the different stepdad that you had, and that's a powerful story for kids to hear because what I don't know what the divorce rate now, but it's very, very high. So that a lot of kids have step parents and all that, the whole type of a situation. And so, yeah, it's just crazy. And it's crazy as I get to know more kids that are out there, of really what happens. And that's what's really, I guess, frustrates me because I can't do enough. I'm not big enough yet. But like you're saying, we all need to get together and help each other and help these kids because I don't know what the statistic is, but I'm just going to guess. I'll bet you it's 4 or 5 kids out of 10. I think it's that high that could actually use some help.
Absolutely. I believe that. And, the biggest point I want to put across is you've got to be bold and speak your story. Your story could save lives. Don't be ashamed of what you've been through, because that's your battle scars. That's what got you to where you're at now. I mean, every challenge, turns into an opportunity to do better. So, it's so important. I I say things to people all the time that they're just like, I can't believe you told me that. Well, why wouldn't I? If it'll help the next person, why would I not do that? It's done, it's over. It can't hurt you now. So just speak it, share it.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to bring up another word, trust. Tell me your definition of trust, and then tell me in your life kind of what you've gone through with the word trust.
Trust is hard. I still have trust issues with people. My grandmother was my trusting person. I could go to her with anything. She was very limited to what she could do to help, but she tried her best. Um, Trust is like a security, though. It's like that security blanket. When you can have that with someone, it's amazing. I mean, I don't feel like we let people know that they can trust us enough either. I don't think we speak those words enough and let people know we can be trusted with your secrets.
Yeah. So tell me about childhood. Tell me, I know you talk about your grandma. Did you have a friend that you could talk to?
We didn't have a whole lot of friends. There was a whole lot of cousins, but they was all in the same, situation as well because it was family wide, like I said. But um, I didn't trust anything as a child. I never lived in the same house longer than a year anywhere in my life until I was grown. Um, so you was on the move a lot, and I'm sure there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of outside influence. I mean, there was school, of course, but I never felt comfortable. But I think they make you so scared at some point. Like the stepdad I had, I mean, I was frightened of him. So I think you are so worried about them finding out that you don't reach out to other people. You don't really trust outside sources. My grandmother was, like I said, the only person that I trusted with any of my secrets.
Yeah. And man, I just, that kills my heart when I hear that. And what even is worse, when my brain goes on to the fact that it's happening out there today, and we just haven't been introduced to those kids.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, man. Whew. Um, yeah, because for someone, I mean, I have trust issues too because of my past. And just to think that, because growing up, I had some trust. I could trust in my dad, even though his feelings, and he wouldn't share his feelings because of the wreck and all that. That
yeah,
kind of closed him down. But just as a kid, knowing that you can't, that there's nobody to trust, nobody that you can talk to, that you're not going to get in trouble from.
yeah.
Um, I can't imagine what that feels like, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. Um, yeah, wow.
It definitely makes you a stronger person, though. And it definitely gives you a chance to, when you grow up, make better choices. I mean, it is sad, but at the same time, like you said, the kids in the group homes, they've got a leg up on things because they definitely know things they don't want to do. They know that they need to do better. I mean, that's what we need to teach them is that there is a better way.
Yeah. Did I share with you this last week? I went to a group home and spoke. Did I share you my story?
Yes.
Okay. So viewers, I'll tell you my little story last week. I went to a group home to speak, and when I was just about finished, one of the girls, or yeah, young ladies, asked me if she could speak to me afterwards, and I said absolutely. So we sat in the area where we weren't in private or anything, and she goes, "I need help getting off drugs, and specifically marijuana, because she had an issue." And I said, "Okay," and she was really adamant about it, and I said, "Okay." So I talked to the owner of the uh, group home, and I was able to find some help, a 10-week program to get started in. And so I'm hoping that they'll run with that. And so it's nothing that I did. It's nothing that anybody did. It's her asking for that help. And
Absolutely.
then it's just us and I say it as God using me as a vessel to just find a way for her to have help. So that was a blessing that I was able to help out with. And that's why we do what we do at CARES Foundation, and Mama Misty supporting us. Mama Misty has been supporting me from the very beginning, and it means so much to me that I have you on today, because I don't have a mom. Not saying that you're my mother figure, but you're like my sister. Um, but I love the fact that people call you Mama Misty, because, folks, I'll tell you, Mama Misty is one there to help out anybody. And I'll tell you, the go on there. And if you need a way or want to contact Mama Misty, you let me know. I'll put you in contact with her because she's someone that truly cares and will listen to what you're going through and help you in any way she can. And you know, it's tremendous having you on. We're almost out. We got about 5 more minutes, and it's been great having you on. I mean, and like I say, this is all live. We just kind of talk as we go along, so you never know what's going to come out of it, and it's always something good that comes out of it. What's a couple of things more that you'd like to share? Anything, Misty?
I just want to say, absolutely, anyone reach out to me anytime. If you can't get a hold of me, get a hold of Todd, and I'm more than welcome to help you. There, I mean, no charge. Like, honestly, if you need products, that might be a charge. But if you just need somebody to talk to or someone to help you figure things out, I will be your person. I am there. I'm all in.
Awesome. And that viewers for me as well. I think you know that here at CARES Foundation. I always give my cell phone out. My personal cell phone number is 541-490-5171. Again, it's 541-490-5171. If you're here in Arizona, I do have an Arizona number now you can call. It's 602-552-1375. And you can go on our website at carestoday.org. That's care with a K, so KARESTODAY.org. Again, I appreciate you so much for being on, Mama Misty. Viewers, if you know of anyone out there that has a great thing that they're doing or a great person doing things, I want to know about it because I want to get them on here on the show on Who Cares, because that's who I wanted to interview is individuals who care, because the whole thing about this podcast is who cares. And so reach out, let me know. There we are. It's up there, carestoday.org. Thank you, Kurt, in the background there. I appreciate you. And so go on. I want to know the people that are doing that and helping others. Kurt, you want to come back on? Do you have anything to add in the last year a little bit? See if he heard me or not. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, this was a great conversation. It's great to meet you, Mama Misty, through this show and to hear everything that you do and the stories you shared. Very captivating and very useful. And I think, I'll build off of, what Todd said when we, created the name to the show. I think the title of this show is very apropos for the conversation you two just had, because when I was listening, it's like, wow, this is the essence of the show, because I was hearing situations where somebody could sit there and say, who cares? Who cares? And then not get the help. That's what I was hearing. A situation where we don't get the help we need. And I know I'm uh, you know, an example of that situation. I think it's unfortunately too common that we could use some help and we're a little bashful. I'm involved with a time banking community and I have been for 10 years. And it's just been very instructive for me to realize that there's a community, of, I say hundreds of thousands. Some people might, try to share with me how there's more than hundreds of thousands, like maybe millions in history of the time banking practices. And the whole premise is built off of every member declares their offers and declares their needs. So what an opportunity we have to, try to have this outreach and inreach into other people, because until it reaches within, and what we are saying out to, or even putting it out to the ethernet, it's just all, entertainment until somebody utilizes, the suggestion we're providing. So that's what we're hoping here at Who Cares, is that, yes, we care here with Mama Misty and Todd Lingel and the whole Cares Foundation crew. And we're just examples of that. There's, plenty of people out there that care and that would be ever so delighted to be of help. And then at the same time, you out there, everybody who's listening, maybe thinking who cares, show us and everybody out there how you care.
Absolutely.
And then this becomes a mutual aid. We help each other, we grow together. And I'm speaking into something that, again, is a little bit newer of a flair in my life of the last 10 years in the work that I do. And, in trying to find what I need and trying to be a little more cognizant about how I can help others and do this whole thing better together. So that's where we are. There's three of us together here with Who Cares Foundation. All of this brought together because Todd thought he wanted to continue on in his mother's and sister's legacy. So, Todd, back to you. What are the finishing touches for
All
today's
right.
show?
Well, one last thing. I want to challenge everyone that listens to this to do something nice daily. And it can be something as little as opening the door for somebody to go in a restaurant, or putting on your brake a little bit and let the person in front of you merge in front of you. Just do something nice. I urge everybody to do one thing every day, and then challenge yourself to do a couple things a day. Just make this world a better place. So that's my challenge for you today here with Who Cares, with Cares Foundation. Mama Misty, thank you for being on today. I appreciate you, love you, and we will see you next week here on Who Cares.